brutalizing people, detaining them, holding them without due process, and now murdering people. Not only is all that true, but ICE isn't even vetting these people.
That warning comes from Laura Jedeed, a freelance journalist who applied to be an ICE agent and received a tentative job offer. I explained more of the background on her story in this video if you want to check it out. In the time since her reporting first surfaced, tensions around immigration enforcement have continued to reach new levels. We saw the detainment of 5-year-old Leon Ramos, who has now been brought to a Texas detention facility, massive protests in the tens of thousands in Minneapolis, and unfortunately, just on Saturday, the second fatal shooting of a civilian by immigration enforcement agents in just the first month of 2026. Laura's reporting examined how, despite having a very online anti-Trump body of work, she was offered a job with ICE after a 6-minute interview, a failed drug test, and an unconfirmed background check. A process she says reveals serious gaps in the agency's vetting standards.
How did all of these things go so wrong in the process? I mean, it's not just that they didn't Google me, although I think that's pretty striking. The thing where my background check was listed as completed when they clearly hadn't done one. My last name, Jedeed, is Syrian. My father immigrated from Syria in the 70s. It took me a long time to get my security clearance in the military because they had to make sure I didn't have ties to a foreign government. And so even if they were totally fine with me being vocally against what they are doing, that should have set off red flags.
Those concerns were further reinforced with the fatal shooting of ICU nurse Alex Preddy, who, during an encounter at a downtown Minneapolis protest, was shot in the back 6 times by ICE agents. More civilians lose their lives to immigration authorities. It shows that questions raised by journalists like Jedeed are no longer abstract.
I'd like to know how this happened. I'd like to know exactly what went wrong. I'd like to know if this was an isolated incident, which I highly doubt, or whether this was something is this systemic? Is this something that happened to everyone at this hiring event? Is this something that's happening more broadly?
Instead, it probes into the real world implications behind who ICE is recruiting and who is being deployed out onto the streets.